말라 이 모든 건 우연이 아니니까 우리 완전 달라 baby 운명을 찾아낸 둘이니까
Hello, it's been a while. Before starting the video, let me just say that if you're not into taekook and if you're not into analyses or theories, leave, please. You don't have to stay here if you don't like it. No one is forcing you to. Also, this video is going to be really controversial and sometimes very normal and about a lot of different topics. So if you want to actually understand the whole video, you have to watch it until the end. So please don't make assumptions before actually watching the whole thing. But for the rest of you, let's just enjoy the ride, shall we? As you know, I have a series called Taekook Interactions. It's basically putting on most of the things that happen between them or things that are related to them recently, one by one, and bringing up theories for them. Last time I updated the series was on 5th of June, so everything I'm going to mention in this video happens after that date. First of all, on the same day that I posted, we've got some pictures of Dispatch. Basically, it was pictures of Taeyoung taking pictures of other members or other members taking pictures of him. But the majority of the pictures they posted were Taekook related, mostly Taeyoung and Jungkook taking pictures of each other. On 7th of June, they were performing at the Music Bank, and during the performance, we got some really cute interactions. For example, here when he took the camera and went for Taeyoung so he could film himself and Taeyoung together, since it was their part. Then Tae leaves and he looks at him like, love you so bad, while Jimin is here like wondering if it's working or not. Or in here he was trying to adjust the camera just right so he could capture himself and Taeyoung in the same frame, and when Taeyoung comes he just looks up and smiling so widely. It was cute. Or in here when he went down while everyone else were up to film himself and Taeyoung, and then remember it wasn't even their part, it was his and Jimin's part. And the flower Taeyoung had a few minutes ago suddenly just ends up in Jungkook's hand. I wonder who gave it to him. Same goes for the next day when they were performing elsewhere. In here, Taeyoung was leaning on both Jungkook and Jimin, and then slowly he started to lean on Jungkook more and more, and literally didn't take his hand off of him at all. Or during the main performance when Jungkook tried to hype Taeyoung up. Tae did the same for Jungkook. Anyway, moving on the same day they released this, they had to write a guide for each other, and Taeyoung had to write one for Jungkook. He described his feathers and said he is very thick and strong and he has very good biceps. His pet name is Jungkook Muscle, and apparently he is 90% made of muscles and 1% bright eyes. Also thanks for the doodle, Taeyoung. He said Jungkook is happy when people share food with him, and it explains all the time Taeyoung shares his food with Jungkook. Listening to him lifts his mood up, and letting him sleep makes him powerful. And then he again mentioned how Jungkook looks good again because he's working out again. In the VX Jungkook part, he mentioned a song that they sang before, which is another breakup song. Seriously, what's with her here? but it's about someone you still love and care about. Jungkook reviewed what Taehyung said and said except for the drawing, it was good and explained him well. On 11th, we got the festa on YouTube. It was mostly BTS just getting drunk and talking, and some cute taekook moments happened. But the highlights of it for me was when Taehyung said, I received a lot of different and great supports before, but once someone sent me a really long text message. It was 20 sentences long, and in the end he told me that he loves me. When he mentioned it was from Suga, everyone were surprised because, as Jin put it, Suga had never written a long emotional note to anyone, not even a normal long note. Then Suga mentioned that Taehyung wasn't the only one who received the note, and Jungkook also received the same notes, and he told him he loves him as well. In another place, when they mentioned it again, Jimin asked if Jungkook was with Taehyung when it happened, and Taehyung said, exactly, saying that yes, they were together when they received the messages. The supportive letter meant so much to them that made them both cry for a very long time. Speculation says that it can be related to a relationship between them. It's because if it's band related, then all other members should have been involved in it as well, but they were the only ones who got the letter. And if it was a family matter, it doesn't make sense because they are not really family to have family issues together. So it only has to be something related to each other. And since it was said that it was a supportive message that made them both emotional to the point of crying, it is really possible to be about that. Now we get to their wish list for the next year. Out of the 10 wishes that they choose, strangely enough, a lot of them were similar with each other. It could be just a coincidence, but even if it wasn't, it's interesting how similar they think about everything. We also got these pictures of this video that still gives me nightmares because how on earth did they end up like that? On 12th, we got their performance in James Corden. They didn't really kiss, but if you pay attention to their lips, you see that it slightly touched when they were looking up. Even when they went away, they started wiping their lips for some reasons. But that's not the point. What was interesting to me was their reactions, as if it was very natural, as if it happened on a daily basis, because they didn't seem to react to it at all. On 13th, we got the BTS prom party, which was filled with cute reactions all over the place. My previous video was actually about it. But personally, the highlights for me were when Taekook were goofing around while choosing J-Hope's punishment, just half hugging, holding hands, whispering and stuff. Also when Jungkook asked Jimin not to expose any secrets. We don't know what secrets, but it was a very interesting thing to mention in a live show. And in the end, when no one said anything, Jimin just kept looking impatiently at Taehyung as if he had to do something or say something. Then he said, Taehyung, Jungkook, don't you have anything to say? And then Taehyung just started singing Magic Shop, which is a song Jungkook composed, and said, so show me, I show you. After that, for a long time, we could see that they were inactive in everywhere. Actually, let me rephrase that. Taehyung was active. Very active indeed sometimes. But every time he posted anything, it were either just old pictures or old videos or pictures of Tani, but nothing new. During the same time, we also got some rumors. People were saying that Dispatch said they stopped trying to catch BTS with others because when they go out, they are always together. Which makes no sense because if you know Dispatch, you know it never stopped them before. And it's not true because they are not always together. We've seen them with others all the time when they go out, even with people that is very easy to make assumptions with. So Dispatch saying something like this actually proves a point. that yes, there is a contract between Dispatch and Big Hit about Dispatch not releasing or looking further into things in exchange of the contents Big Hit gives them. On 27th, we got something from BT21. We got Tete and Cookie squishing cheeks and making hearts together in an emoji. And that is cool and all, but the thing is, in Korean Twitter, they just tagged it with BFF as in best friends forever. But in Japanese one, they said BF, which actually can be both best friend or boyfriend. And if it's best friend, then why did they just change the tag? And this one about Tete having dramas over answering Cookie's phone, which is like a whole K-drama I don't even know. But the more interesting part is BT21 newspaper about how Tete and Cookie ended up being best friends because Tete thought Cookie was cute and told him, but Cookie thought he meant he was cool because Tete can speak very well. And characters are supposed to represent Taehyung and Jungkook, so I thought it was a really cute thing that happened and I had to mention. They stayed absent until 22nd when this certain concert happened, and I already made a video of it and explained my point of view, so I'm not going to get into it anymore. But yes, I'm still on my word about what I actually said. Not what people put in my mouth, but yes, what I actually mentioned. Even after the concert and after us realizing their real hair color, they still stayed absent. Especially Taehyung, because as I mentioned, he wasn't really absent, he kept posting things. But old things, he didn't really update us on how he really is at the moment for a very long time. But there was this interesting update that Taehyung posted. It was a picture of Jungkook that Taehyung took, and in it Jungkook was just looking around and then he made a V sign, aka Taehyung sign, and it was really similar to what Taehyung did in Jungkook's GCF. Despite the absence, we still got some really interesting leaks from pretty much everywhere, but I'm going to mention it later. For now, let's just keep things in order. When the memory of 2017 came out, surprisingly, there were a lot of taekook moments, unlike last year. Well, I guess it's because last year was the separation year, and this year it's not as severe anymore. On 28th, we got a commercial of Bugum and BTS. We all know the history of Bugum and Taekook. He is Taehyung's best friend outside of BTS. And one time when Taehyung and Jungkook were planning to go somewhere and Jungkook just suddenly couldn't go for whatever reason, Taehyung went with Bugum, which was a whole K-drama on its own really. So once Jungkook asked him to choose between him and Bugum. So in this commercial, putting Bugum between Taehyung and Jungkook doing fist bumps and interacting with them was a little bit hilarious. I actually liked it. It all went on until 7th of July when we got super concerts and Taehyung were more than happy in it, looking really genuinely happy playing around, and it was just really refreshing to see them feeling the moment again. Also 2 days ago, we got a Bangtan bomb of Taehyung dancing and Jungkook just couldn't stop staring at him and smiling at him. It was honestly the cutest thing ever. Which reminds me that I've never mentioned this, but during the same day of this Bangtan bomb, they did a live and Suga said that if Jungkook had to have a new name, it would be Kim Jong-kook. Taeyoung's last name is Kim. And of course, the kissing scenes. Before I mention this part, let me just say this. Fair right exists, and based on it, someone like a YouTuber can use a limited or short version of a material or a video for commentary or other reasons, and if they do it, they don't even have to ask permission from the client to use it. Which means legally I'm allowed to use these pictures or these videos because they are a short version of the whole video and I'm using them for commentary. So even if I don't ask for permission from the kid, it is completely legal. Basically what happened was Taeyoung sitting in front and everyone just kissing either his hair or his hand, that Jungkook just going straight for the cheek, and when he did it, unlike when everyone else did it, people in the background started clapping and screaming like all of us, and then Namjoon, wait for it, Namjoon actually worriedly said, "Is it really okay to do?" Even Namjoon knows it. As for Jungkook, he was just sitting the same way and members just started patting his back and saying things about him, but Taeyoung just went for the kiss and ran away. Their expressions when it happened was so precious and honestly it seemed shocked. But remember the magazine that said Taeyoung kisses Jungkook's cheek often? So yeah, it wasn't even their first time, they do it very often. But they still have that shocking and very exciting look when they kiss each other.